Hello and welcome back to Something Z, and welcome to What If Deku Had a Crying Quirk Part 2. Last time, Deku passed the written exam and it's time for the practical. Now, let's get into the what if. Deku is at the front gates of the practical exam and he's in his tracksuit when he sees the brown-haired girl who saved him earlier. He was planning on saying hi to her, but the guy with square glasses who asked questions about the 0-pointer stopped him. Are you planning on distracting her, ruining her chances of passing? The panicking Zook starts to tear up, trying to respond, but all that comes out is whimpering and mumbles that can't be heard. Speak to me loud and clearly if you want to get into UA. You have to be respectful. Being yelled at by the man, Izuku starts to cry a bit, to the point where one teardrop is sliding down his face. Before Ida can say anything, he just can't stop crying, and his eyes are forced shut no matter how hard he tries to open his eyes. Noticing what's happening to the man with glasses, he looks around, and the people around him are trying to open their eyes too. He quickly gets a spray and a tissue he has in his pockets, and he wipes it off trying to deactivate the smell. But when he does it, it's not working as well as it normally does. It's working, yes, but the people still have a difficulty opening their eyes. Before the guy with glasses opens his eyes, Izuku tries to fake himself crying so he doesn't get in trouble. Then immediately after, President Mike appears on a nearby tower. Okay, the entrance exam starts now! Then the gates burst open, and when they open completely, everyone runs through. When Zuko gets through the gates, people already have a decent amount of points. After some time has passed, Zuko still doesn't have any points, and then the 0-pointer appears. When it's released, everyone around it starts to run away. Izuku was about to start running when he hears a female voice groan in pain, and when he looks behind him, he sees the brown-haired girl that saved him earlier. Then, with his legs moving on their own, he starts to run at the robot, and he jumps to his surprise around 20 feet into the air. But he didn't worry about it at the moment. All he cared about was saving the girl. With all the energy he had, he put it all into his fist and yelled, "Smash!" With one punch, the robot gets knocked over and explodes. After the robot exploded, he fully realized he was in the air and now falling. He thinks he can just land using the power he used to get up there, but when he tried to move his legs, he felt a sharp pain, and when he actually looked at his legs, he realized that both of his legs are broken. When he started to fall at high speeds, he thought he was going to die, and before he hit the ground, he feels something hit his face. It was the brown-haired girl. Then he slowly floats down the 3 feet that was left. Then he passes out. And when he comes to, he's in an infirmary of some kind. Then he sees a small old lady with a huge syringe. And that's when she notices him and tells him to hurry home, and it's already late in the afternoon. Hours pass and Midoriya is in his bed asleep when he gets a message from All Might, telling him to meet him at the beach. "Oh, so you finally made it. How do you think your exams went?" "I think I failed horribly. I didn't get a single point. I'm sorry I let you down. Also, do you know why my bones broke and my quirk seems stronger than it used to be?" For your second question, One for All is a booster quirk. It gains power over time and stockpiles it, so your quirk must have improved and grew stronger. As well, as for your bone question, it seems like your body hasn't completely gotten used to my quirk, and your body can't handle it just yet. You will eventually get stronger and eventually learn how to control the power, but it will take some time. So we skip to when Izuku gets his envelope from UA High. "Hello, I am here, at the protection." Izuku, being confused on what's happening, continues to watch the video. "Izuku Midoriya, the number of robot points you got was 0. Sorry, but that wasn't the only thing we were looking for. There were also rescue points. Izuku Midoriya, 60 rescue points. Welcome, Izuku Midoriya, to UA High School." So we skip to the first day of UA, and Izuku just got to UA. He's outside the front doors of Class 1A and hoping that he doesn't see the guy with Class Gotcha because he doesn't want to be stuck with them. And when he opened the doors, the first thing he saw was the two of them yelling at each other. Trying to avoid their attention, he tried to turn his head and walk to a clear desk, but before he made it, the guy with glasses walked up to him. "Hello, hi, I'm Tenya Ida. Nice to meet you. We met in the practical, but what is your name?" "Izuku Midoriya. Nice to meet you too. And sorry for accidentally using my quirk on you." "What are you talking about? I saw your quirk with super strength. Or do you have 2 quirks? Just then, the brown-haired girl walks up to him during the middle of their conversation.
"Hey, it's you from the entrance exam. Thank you for saving me from the robot. You beat him with one punch."
Zuko tries to say thank you, but the only sounds he makes is unclear mumbling, until he sees someone in a sleeping bag in the doorway to the classroom. It was an older guy with an aftershave, and looked like he just woke up. The man got out of the sleeping bag. After the man gets out of the sleeping bag, okay everyone, settle down. After everyone sits down and is quiet, it took you too long. You have to be faster. But for now, put on these PE clothes and meet me in the field. When they got to the field, the teacher was already there, and he explained that they will be taking a test, and the person who gets last place will be expelled from UA. So they take the test and everything happens the same, like Zuko getting last place, and now it's time for the ball. Zuko was planning on using his quirk to launch the ball, but before he launched the ball, Eraser had erases his quirk. What were you going to do? Break all your bones and look for someone else to help you? In battle, you would be nothing more than a liability. Then he deactivated his quirk. Just go ahead. Either break all your bones or lose terribly, you decide. Deku, as tears starting to form, gets ready to throw the ball. Right before throwing the ball, he activated once before on the fingertips right before throwing the ball. He throws it with the same strength he does in the original cannon, and the ball goes 705.3 meters away from the class. And at the end of the test, Izuku is last place, preparing himself to get kicked out and figuring out to be a hero. He hears, "Okay everyone, that was a good day, and also it was a logical deception. All of you were staying." And then the day ends with the rest of the day being a normal school day. But when he starts to leave the campus, he sees Ida walking towards him. "How's your finger?"
It's good. Recovery Girl did a good job healing me.
"That's good. Anyways, I hope we can become good friends from here on out."
Same here.
After they said that, they noticed the brown-haired girl walking towards them.
Hey, are you guys going to the station? Can I come with you guys?
Ida, Zuko, and Greta let her walk home with them. And we skip to the next day when All Might runs into the class with his Golden Age outfit on. "Hello everyone. Before today's class starts, you need to put on your hero costumes that were made for you and your course in mind." So Zuko's costume is exactly the same, except for the colors, where the green is replaced with a light blue, and in his belt he has nose plugs and a clothespin and a sort of onion spray, so he can activate his crank quirk easier, and some tissue and freshener to neutralize the tears. And when they can all get there, All Might explain the rules of the heroes versus villains practice. And the teams are the exact same as in the canon, but before the practice, Izuku gives Uraka a pair of the nose plugs and tells her the plan. So the practice begins and Uraka and Izuku run through the building. And before they turn a corner, Baku jumps from the corner and fires an explosion, destroying Izuku's mask. But when Baku fired the explosion, Izuku tried his hardest to keep his eyes open so he can get some of the dust and smoke to his eyes, irritating them. So he starts to tear up a bit. He shouts, "Now!" And Uraka puts nose plugs into her nose, which makes his tears not affect her. But Baku gets hit with the smell, and his eyes are closed shut. He spends a couple seconds trying to open them, while Uraka runs to find the bomb, while Zuko stays with Baku to keep him distracted. After 30 seconds, Baku, as his last resort, puts 2 fingers in his nose from one hand, and it sort of works, to the point where he can open his eyes slightly, but everything is still blurry from his tears and his eyes not being opened fully. Trying to stop the tears, he tries to fire an explosion to blur Zuko, trying to get him farther away from him, which works, but the effects are still there, but not as strong. And when that happened, Deku got a tissue from his pocket and tried to dab his tears in it. Then he starts to rush at Baku with his tissue in his hand. And Baku tries to throw a right punch at Zuko, which Izuku grabs and slams Baku into the ground. And when he hits the ground, Izuku puts a tissue on Baku's nose, and he gets a small sniff of it. But since it was just about directly from it, it was still strong, which forces his eyes shut. And with Baku trying to get the tissue off, Izuku grabbed Baku's leg, and on the speaker they hear All Might shout, "Contestant Katsuki Baku is out." And Zuko runs off to try and find where Uraka and Ida are. He eventually finds them, and they are at a standstill, with Uraka unable to get the bomb, and Ida waiting for the time to run out, which is about 5 minutes left. Izuku sprays himself with a bit of the onion spray, and he starts to cry from the pain, and it affects Ida, but since Ida's wearing a full mask, it doesn't affect him as much. And since he doesn't know what exactly Zuku's quirk is, he tries to charge at him with the limited vision he has. And it works, but it doesn't deactivate the smell of the tears, and he tries to avoid the quirk sinking at the radius quirk, which helps him a little. Zuko gets up and starts to charge at Ida, making his vision less and less with every step, so Ida starts to charge at Zuko, and right after he tackles him, they hear All Might through the speakers, "The hero team wins!" And when Ida turns his head, he finally sees Uraka at the bomb with her hand on the bomb. And that's where I'm going to leave the What If, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time on Something Z.